Okay, this is a third part of the second lecture. Okay, this is science in beer production. Okay, first of all, we go for water. Water for beer production must be meet local and international standard for potable water. Not too alkaline, must be hard water. Contain calcium, desirables about 100 part per million. Less may also be used. Okay, another one is barley malt. The malting of barley begin with steeping soup in aerated water in a tank, complete when barley moisture content is 45%, and allow the barley to germinate and start to grow, and then gently dry to arrest further growth. And germination result in active enzyme starch in malted barley and in other cereal grain convert into sugar. Okay, sugar easily fermented by yeast. Barley grain contain little or no alpha amylase, only contain beta amylase. After the germination process, barley grain produce alpha amylase, proteinase, and cellulase. Alpha amylase will reduce viscosity of the starch by attacking alpha 1,4 linkage in to produce glucose, maltose, and dextrin. Okay, this is a simple EMP pathway. Okay, where glucose we produce 2 ATP and 2 pyruvate and 2 acetaldehyde before we turn into 2 ethanol. Okay, this is a Ebden-Meyerhof-Barnes pathway or glycolytic pathway. Okay, first of all, we like to focus on the glucose. Glucose will turn into glucose 6-phosphate with help of ATP here. It's a ATP here. We turn ATP into the ATP, and then glucose 6-phosphate will convert it into fructose 6-phosphate. Okay, and then fructose 6-phosphate will convert it into fructose 1,6-diphosphate. Okay, this also using ATP. We turn ATP into ADP. Okay, onward, the fructose 1,6-diphosphate will converted into 2 molecules of triose phosphate. Okay, and then they will also converted into triose diphosphate with and then onward, triose diphosphate we converted into enol pyruvate diphosphate, but we produce another 2 ATP here. These 2 ATP will help to pick up here and this one here, and then enol pyruvate acid phosphate will converted into pyruvate acid. In this conversion, it will produce another 2 ATP, So in this Meyerhof-Barnes pathway, we produce 2 ATP with 1 molecule of glucose. Okay, after that, pyruvate acid we converted into acetaldehyde plus CO2, and then lastly, acetaldehyde we converted into 2 molecule of ethanol. Okay, in the milling process, malt needed to be crushed before use. This was done just before the malt need to be used. The milling is to crush the endosperm of the barley but leave the husk as intact as possible. Rice and wheat need merely to be crushed before use, but corn that we receive in the berry does not need treatment before use. Okay, cereal agents. Uh, Cereal agents are corn, rice, wheat, sorghum, or other cereals provided supplementary carbohydrate or starch, conversion to sugar for subsequent fermentation, agent used if the barley malt is rich in dietetic activity. 10 to 50% agent were used to increase the starch content, to use less malt, to dilute the nitrogen content, to obtain pale color beer, and actually it's cheaper extract. Okay, this is sorghum, where sorghum was planted in a field. Okay, mashing. Mashing, the first step is to combine the malt, barley, and cereal agent with water and mildly cook, and to extract readily soluble material and to gelatinize the starch. Substance to extract and enzymatic breakdown into dextrin and sugar or glucose. 550 pounds malt into 650 gallons of beer. Mild cooking release protein and break down into lower molecular weight and brought in specially designed tank where the temperature is 38 degrees Celsius and gradually increased to 77 degrees Celsius. Okay, heating in the mashing process done in step. Each step is about 30 degree increment. Okay, mashing permits specific amylase and protease to function before they are heated inactivated, and tank design allows sugar separate from the spent grain. Liquid fraction is known as rock or sweet rock. Okay, during the brewing process, the rock pumped into the brew kettle, loaded time, the hops was added, and the mixture brewed by boiling the kettle 1.5 to 2.5 hours. About 2 or 3 pounds of hops are added on every barrel of beer. Specific gravity of rock increase, means that sugar increase. After brewing, hops residues settle and rock is drawn from the kettle through the heat exchange and cooled to the temperature desired for fermentation. Immediately after the cooling, the rock is aerated, provided air for the yeast.
Okay, boiling and brewing of wort with the hops also will concentrate the wort, and it will extract the hops, and it stop all enzymatic action, and it precipitate remaining protein that would otherwise contribute to beer turbidity, and it also caramelize sugar slightly, and it extracted the flavor and preservative and tannin-like substance from the hops, and it remove grainy odor from the malt and other cereals.
Okay, what is hops? Hops, the scientific name is Humulus lupulus plant. The flower contains resin and essential oil, characteristic bitter flavor and pleasant aroma to beer. Okay, hops contain tannin, add beer color to add beer color, and hop extract during brewing also have mild preservative property and foam holding capacity. Okay, this is a example of pelleted or condensed hops in the laboratory.